You alright? I'm YorkshireASMR, and I haven't made a video since 2013, September specifically, so it has been over 7 years. So, sorry about that. I'm struggling to find the balance between soft speaking and whispering. And I just took a huge breath, and I don't know how to exhale it without blowing the microphone out. This is going well straight away. Hi, how have you been? It's been a while, huh? Yeah, it's not me. It's my fault, really. So, I thought I would just do a little catch up on where I have been, what I've been up to these past 7 years. And I figured while I did it, because I'm not very good at just speaking to a camera non-stop, I would show you some areas of Witcher 3. And I didn't necessarily plan this, but there's a very, very pretty sunset going on right now. This location is Crow's Perch in Velen, and in the previous take of this video I forgot the name of this place other than it had Crow in the name. And this is embarrassing because I was going to tell you that it's one of my favourite locations in the game. A few reasons for this, and like I said, it's embarrassing because he says it's his favourite place, but he can't remember the bloody name. And then I told you on take 2, so the reason why I like it so much. There are some very good quests that take place here. Is he being mean to me? I don't know what I did, and I turned off the hood so I can't read what he's saying to me. The reason why, aside from the quests, which, like I said, are very good, I just like the look of this place, the theme it evokes, and just how it kind of really brings across the setting of The Witcher 3, specifically within this area, which is war-torn. It's poor. People struggle around here. And specifically in this very aggressive-looking location, much like those people the other under the bridge. They're quite brutish, quite mean. They bully their way through a lot of the life here. And I think that this place in particular really gets all this across with just environmental design. And there's like a mixture of, you see this right there? It's like a stone building that's kind of falling apart. And sky changed a little there, strange. And the roof in the background that's in disrepair, and this building right here in disrepair. There's this mixture of like decay as well as life with the nature, like as well as greenery is growing. And this little chicken right here, I'm gonna try and not step on him. So yeah, hello. It's been, like I said, 7 years. What have I been doing? So, 2013, I was in my 2nd year of university, and I am prone to losing motivation and not continuing on projects that I work on, personal projects. And this channel, like many other of my projects, just kind of fell to the wayside. And I'm making a video today, not necessarily out of a resurgence of personal motivation, but more because I have been convinced that it might be a good idea. So, I'm making it. 2013, I was focused more so on uni stuff, and that bled into until I finished my course, which was in 2015. and I wasn't sure where to go for my future after years of being in education from primary school to secondary school, and then years of university. I'd kind of hemmed myself into what I believed to be a corner of my job opportunities, if there were any job opportunities immediately available, and my girlfriend convinced me that the pickings weren't so slim. And you might be watching this and thinking, wow, his accent is weird, it's changed since the last video. And you might even be doing like a side-by-side if you really cared. And wondering why does he sound so different? Well, my girlfriend is American. I say girlfriend, and then girlfriend. And she showed me that I could go somewhere and do something that I was more passionate about, which was games. I had never really considered this. I mean, I've really loved playing video games ever since I was very, very young. The first video game I played was at my Gran and Gramps' house. My Gramps had a PC, an old Windows running PC. I'm talking about those like white boxy looking things. It had one game on it, and the game was Noddy. I don't remember the rest of the title. Noddy is this cartoon gnome or elf, I forget exactly which, that was prominent when I was young, and I think even prominent in the UK as far back as the 60s maybe, I'm not sure. The game was super simple, like it had like a 2D. I just touched the microphone, for which I am very, very sorry. The game had a 2D map that you would drive around, and there were like mini games. I actually looked it up on YouTube a couple of years ago to look at it, and a lot of memories came flooding back. It's an old game. It's from the early 90s or mid 90s. Anyway, so tangent over. Video games. She found a course at the same university she was going to that could get me a master's in game design. I applied, not thinking necessarily that I would be accepted based on my criteria, but I was. And so I went, I got my master's in game design, and being a non-American, I could stay in America as a student visa, or on a student visa, I should say. And given that this was classified as a STEM course, I was able to stay after my master's degree had finished, as long as I got a job in the STEM field. So I applied, and when some other personal things became pretty clear, we decided that we were pretty serious about each other and serious enough to get married. We knew we were going to get married at some point, but the personal situation made it, I guess, like, it became more apparent that doing it now, or then, I should say, was better than a different time. And yeah, we got married, and I applied for a green card. And I don't know why I'm on this other tangent, but yeah, I got married to my American girlfriend and my now American wife. If you're familiar with some of my videos and who I've collaborated with, then you likely have a very good idea of who this person is. I'm not going to name drop her because, well, she has a very successful channel, and I don't want to seem like I'm mooching, I guess. I don't know, even though I kind of am, because this is her microphones. It's her ring light, her camera. There's a bit of mooching. Yeah, I got married and I applied to a local area at the game companies there. And thanks to a classmate, I was able to reach out to a recruiter and get a job with a local studio, a AAA studio. And I have worked there ever since. Yeah, I make games now. Not necessarily a game like Witcher, but I do make games. And while I can definitely say it's not a glamorous job where you sit around and play video games all day, there is tedium. But I really like the people I work with. I like the culture. I'm a nerd. I like to hang around other nerds. I married a nerd. This was a very quick summation. I thought it would take longer than that. I guess I can try and drum up a few more talking points, but I will digress back to the game. I have been wandering around aimlessly in this small square here. I just want to highlight a few things that I like about it. Here, you can see that tower there. The old brick coming through what might have once been a shine of paint or lime painted over it. And there, the roof, you can see a lot of the thatching and the tiles have fallen off. It's in disrepair. And here, this lovely white sheen across the thatch and the boards. I'm pretty sure that's crow poop. And here we have a building in that old medieval, or late medieval I should say, 13 to 1400s. I'm not an architect or a historian, so these are guesses. In that kind of style, it really makes me feel like I'm in this era. Whoa, I got stuck on that fence there. Here we have some kind of outhouse building, storage shed or something, roof falling apart, this old stone tower, again, not a lot of care, not a lot of love, likely meaning not a lot of money. These people scraping by, or they just don't care enough, or are unable to keep this place looking spick and span. Yeah, I really like Gross Perch. It's cool. And now I'm stuck here, and I'm gonna run out to look at some other stuff. These people warming their hands. It's a cold, dreary, rainy day. Maybe that's why I like The Witcher so much. It has a very British, dreary drizzle going on every now and then. I need to think of a new talking topic. Okay, here's one. When I was in university, I watched a YouTube channel, I think produced by Geek and Sundry, called Tabletop. It was hosted by the prominent and nerdy actor Will Wheaton, known for Star Trek fame and many other films. He, being a nerd, enjoyed playing board games, and he would use this channel to have celebrity guests come on and play board games in short time frames, edited down for YouTube pleasure, like viewing pleasure. And it was very popular. And it actually introduced me. Sorry, I'm clicking on the controller because I'm going over a roach, my trusty horse. I'm kitting him out with a nice saddle blind us so he doesn't get spooked. And here we have a royal wyvern head. Wyvern? Wyvern? I feel say that wrong. Because I was first introduced to the word playing Baldur's Gate when I was quite young. And I don't think I ever heard anyone say it aloud. So I just guessed. And I think I guessed wrong. Similarly, another word I did this with was anime. Excuse me. I had never seen it. Sorry, I had never heard it. I'd only ever seen it. And for some reason, I decided it was anime. And I don't know why. Because it's clearly derived from animation. Anime. Big dumb. What was I saying? Oh yeah, tabletop board games. I had played and been introduced to board games by my dad, who, when I was a kid, we would have, obviously Monopoly. Pretty classic board games like that. Risk, Cluedo, as we call it in the UK, because we came up with it. But he also had some, well, I say some, he had one game that was not a necessarily very popular game, called Escape from Colditz. This will be relevant later, I don't know why I said it now. So I knew of board games not being the traditional Monopoly-esque kind of games, but this YouTube show really introduced me to the wider world of board games. So when I was doing my masters, I actually dedicated an entire research project to the then revival, and still ongoing I would say, revival of the board game industry. I'm swaying because there are two microphones and I'm trying to give them both some love, and it's probably going to look very distracting, and now I can't not think that it looks quite silly. Anyway, I called it the golden era of board games. Golden age. I don't remember the exact wording. Oh, I think that's a wolf. Or a warg. He probably won't be super friendly and might try and attack me. Yes, okay. Roach, please take us to safety. Oh, they may have killed this poor man. The world of the Witcher is, pretty gruesome. Not a super friendly, happy place to live. I don't know where I'm going either. I'm just wandering in what I assume is north. So, yeah, board games. Tabletop had introduced me to this wider world of games of many different types. And while I was at university in England, I actually spent some money and bought my first board game that was, well, not only was it expensive for me, but it was different, based on the very popular then IP of Game of Thrones. It's derived from Diplomacy, which is a classic board game, but it was given the twist of Game of Thrones with art and a shift around in some of the mechanics. And at university I played this game quite a lot with some friends, and that was arguably the first game I bought for my collection, of which my collection is now quite large. Quite a fair amount of money I have spent on board games. And like I said, when I did my masters, I dedicated an entire project on discussing the board game industry and how it was experiencing a rise in popularity and how it was surging with purchases and Kickstarters and introduction of game IPs, converting their IP into a board game. So, for example, at the time I mentioned how Dark Souls, which is a very prominent video game IP, they released a board game version. I don't remember exactly, but I think they kickstarted it, and it raised quite a lot of money. So, board games have become quite a huge part of my life in the time since I last made a video, which was a while ago. And the reason I'm talking about it is because in, oh dear, another wolf, Roach, we must away. I, in my spare time, have been dabbling with board game design, tinkering and making my own things. I have been helping playtest other people's designs and just kind of immersing myself in that world. I hope one day I could make a game that people would be willing to show on YouTube and play with their friends, kind of thing. I like the kind of social setting of board games, sitting down with friends and experiencing something together where we, as humans, create this not quite visceral, but real emotional association with something that's so analog. Because here I am playing The Witcher, and the sight, the sounds, there's the feel of the controller as it rumbles with the vibration. There are so many things that kind of immerse you in the game world. Here I am looking at some harpies in the distance. If I rode 5 minutes down there, I wouldn't see them, maybe. But here I am knowing that there's danger there. There's monsters to fight. But when you play a board game, you don't necessarily have a video playback of something. You don't necessarily have something telling you through different forms of the senses what to feel. But when you play with friends, you can create this association, which is where I derive a lot of my enjoyment. I'm also very lost in this game. I meant to go to the Novigrad, which is a rather large city, so I'm going to look at the map. Okay, completely the wrong direction. I have to go. Can I even cross there? Okay. I'm gonna go east and just hope for the best. Yeah, so, board games. And the reason I mentioned the game that my dad liked that was so different and out of the norm is because after I had done my research project, and while I was still, and am still, immersed in the world of board games, that same game had a recreation. They remade it, repackaged, resold it. Oh, that's a quite mangy looking dog. Oh, and you too. Oh, I think that's the city I'm looking for. So I just feel like that kind of anecdotal story of this game my dad really liked, that wasn't Monopoly and it wasn't Risk and it wasn't one of these atypical games that most households are familiar with. And it experienced its own resurgence during the entire board game revival, Golden Age, as I called it. It just kind of like, that little nugget shows that I was right about what I was researching. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just rambling because, like I told my wife, who told me I should make this video, I don't think I'm very good at retelling stuff about myself, talking about myself. What are these people doing? Oh, they're just relaxing out here on the road. I think this is the right way. he says, wandering into the unknown. I don't know if you can tell, but I play this game with the HUD on. I know it would be much more immersive to play it this way and speak to some person handing out a quest and they're like, oh, head east. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm playing this game with a HUD, the sun is over there, so north is roughly this direction, and no, I don't have time for that. Although it would be more immersive, like I said. And it definitely makes you enjoy and appreciate more of the game in this kind of mode. I won't dispute that. These people are nice.
Faster.
Yeah, they don't seem to be angry.
Slow now. Whoa.
This place does seem familiar. I really enjoy this region in particular because it has this, it's going to sound pretty sad now I say it, but it's got this very dark and downtrodden vibe. That was a kitty. Kitty does not like me. Big dog. Big dog doesn't seem to mind me. That man is sleeping with the pigs. And just the vistas of these like trees swaying in the wind as the sun rises, and these dirty and I imagine very smelly villages of these people barely making a living, just oozing with theme. And it really makes me feel like I am this monster hunter living in this world. And I think it's important for immersive game design to try and capture that feeling for players, so they stick around and play more. Oh, that's rather dark. I won't dwell there. So yeah, 7 years, and I have nearly talked about that for 30 minutes. I don't know how good this is going to be because, like I said at the very beginning, I don't think I am very good at soft speaking for a long time because I haven't in a while, and my accent will likely sound quite different. I am Yorkshire ASMR, but I guess my accent now is more Yorkshire American because I have been told by people in Yorkshire that I have like American twang. My family tell me every time I speak to them. I was once on a plane back to England and a guy sat next to me was from Leeds, and when I told him I was from Yorkshire, he was not surprised, but he was like, you definitely have a mix. So if the stranger was willing to tell me, then it's very likely true. I guess I could talk about travels. My wife and I went on some cruises to the Caribbean and to
Come on now.
Bahamas. I might be misremembering that general area. We visited a few of the islands and generally had a very, very good time. And I put on some weight because I ate a lot. If you've never been on a cruise, it's essentially a traveling hotel and there's lots of good food, and because you're on a hotel, you may be not doing very much physical exercise and you might put on weight. And, whoops, I did not mean to do that. Maybe you can see it in the video. I imagine you can. I have definitely put on weight as I've aged. I'm not a skinny little
Take it easy.
20-year-old anymore. 20-ish year old. Although I am in my 20s still. But I'm closer to 30 than I was when I last made a video. By a long shot. I don't know where I am, and I don't see any more people. So I feel like I might be walking into an aggressive area. Oh, I do see a man although he looks quite ill. Excuse me, sir, are you okay? Holy... Okay, I was right. This is a hostile place. He got me good, though. Fair play, sir, fair play. He got me. Good job. Yeah, so, travelled around on cruises. They were really honeymoon stuff. And since then, the travelling I have done has been visiting England and taking some of my American friends to visit England too. I say England, also Scotland. We went to Edinburgh, and I love Edinburgh. I also showed them York, obviously heart of Yorkshire. Classically, you have to visit London. I mean, if you're going to England, you're not going to London. I mean, even just to do the tourist stuff. And also Brighton, which I had never been to before. And I really liked it. Even though it was in the middle of winter. Well, I say middle, it was in January. I still really liked it. I imagine it's very beautiful during the summer. And the very few British days of sun. Speaking of sun, it's quite sunny right now. I guess the game has a roughly 30-minute night cycle, which I did not know until I made this video. And there you can see in the distance the towers of one of the biggest cities in the game, if not the biggest. I believe it might be the biggest. So yeah, I say travels. Essentially, I went home, which is maybe not all that interesting. I don't know why I keep talking about it. What else? I don't really know what else to say. Oh, well, when I moved in with my then girlfriend, now wife, she had a golden retriever, which has now become my golden retriever too. And if you're familiar with who my wife is, you might have seen her golden retriever. And we also have gotten a cat, a kitten. He still is. He's 6 months at this point. And he's a bundle of chaos, but he's very, very cute. And, Roach cannot get over this bridge. Roach just need to lift your feet a little bit higher. There you go. They're really arguably the biggest life events that I really feel comfortable talking about on camera, to YouTube, to my 600, I'm sure, very patient, very adoring fans. I don't know about adoring. I don't know about patient. But if you are one of the 600, then I hope you enjoy this catch up and ramble, because let's both be honest, I was rambling quite a lot. I'm sure you can agree, as I remember to do ear to ear. Okay, that man was very angrily gesturing at me. He is a witch hunter, and I am a witcher. So, although you would think our two paths align, they don't. He's a meanie. That man looks very suspicious. So yeah, Novigrad. I really like Novigrad. I'm sure many people do. I don't think this is a hot take or anything. But one of the reasons I like it so much is because in York there's a small street called the Shambles, which is mostly a representation of how it looked like in the medieval era. And the two places, to me, the very small street in York and this bustling city, something just fell. I think it was some wires, and I hope the mic didn't pick it up. Yeah, Shambles, Novigrad, they kind of evoke the same feeling to me. So I like this place. because I really like York. Although I went back to the Shambles. Maybe that's stepping away from the mic. I went back to the Shambles on my most recent visit, and there's a lot of Harry Potter shops there now. A lot of Harry Potter shops. Selling Harry Potter merch. That definitely wasn't there before. But oh well. Gotta make those tourist bucks. Or pounds, rather. Sorry, sir. I got a royal wyvern. Wyvern. Wyvern? Wyvern? I don't quite remember. In this take, did I talk about the the wyvern thing? I think I did. I think I'm going mad. This is the longest I've talked to myself in a while. Oh, this is the place I think it is. I believe it might be. Take a walk inside. Roach, you be a good boy now. Some food over there, maybe. You want to get it? Yeah, good boy. He's smart. I don't need to take him to it. This is a pretty cool pub. Okay, and there's some very... Okay, and she's bugging out. Maybe we don't go there on YouTube. Let's go down to the river. Maybe we can get a shot of the sun. I think the sun is in this direction. So yeah, Novigrad. I really like this place. And I might have just exhausted anything my brain can think of to talk about. So I will wish you well. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm not confident it'll be very good in terms of my speaking quality. It's been a while since I've done a video. As you might know, I've said it a lot, this video. But either way, I mean, if you did enjoy this, then good. Something came of it. And if you just enjoyed me giving you a catch-up, that's good too. Tell me, what have you guys done in the past 7 years? Let me know. And I will read all the comments, as I have been reading them in moderation. I don't get many comments, even after all these years, because I don't make any content. And I might make some more videos. Maybe. If I do, they'll likely be gaming videos like this, where I just wander around and talk stuff. I have never noticed people in Rude before. That is new to me. That's cool. I like that. Very drunk looking man. And you can just walk through him. This game is old. There's some bugs. It's a very big game. Here's a beautiful location, I think, if we can see out. 1, 2. The east. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's a beautiful shot. Right there. You can see, in the distance, all these buildings that look so medieval to me. It was great. I really like this place. This little kid balancing on a flat surface. Kid, I don't want to tell you that's not impressive. That's impressive. Vanishing inside a box. That's good. I just realized I might have breathed into the microphone a little loud there. So I apologize. I'm rambling while trying to stop rambling. And I need to stop. So goodbye. Good night. Sleep tight. And I'll try and make the next video less than 7 years' time.